What's up? Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats as we break down these workouts for you. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, let me know. Any support, great, appreciate it. Any feedback, also appreciate it. We're gonna break down Sunday, February 16th. This will also repeat on the 28th, last day of the month. We're gonna see power on the tread, strength on the rower, power on the weight floor. That is Rosie, my studio manager's dog. I'm currently dog sitting, so she says hi. Anyways, we're gonna break down the key concepts of the 2G, talk about the 3G, get you on out of here. So for today's workout, we have 2 blocks on the tread. Throughout each block, everything gets shorter. Your goal is to finish each block at your highest intensity. For the rower, each block has a distance challenge. You'll set your distance in the buy-in and then aim for at least half, if not more than half, at the end of the block. On the floor, you have 2 power-focused work and rest circuits. So looking at the treadmills here, block 1, 12 minutes, 15 seconds. There's a 90-second walk recovery, and then into block 2, which is 9 minutes and 15. Total time is 23 minutes, so obviously a weird timing and everything, but 23 minutes total on the treadmills today. And they're all gonna follow a very similar format. You're gonna see a push, a base, and then something that's gonna feel like an all-out walk recovery. Then we are gonna take away the push and then take away the base. So first round, you have push, base, and then in block 1, it's a push all out. There's a 1-minute walk recovery. They drop the push, so you have just base into the push all out, walk recovery, then they drop the base, all out, walk recovery, and then a bonus all out. In block 1, the efforts are longer, but of course everything gets shorter too. So you'll see 90 seconds of that push base, push all out combo. So in total, 4.5 minutes of work, 1-minute walk recovery. Then we're asking them to work for another 3 minutes between a base and a push all out, and then another 1-minute walk recovery, followed by the 1-minute all out, walk recovery, 45-second all out. So as we go through this block, the push all out aims to increase the intensity to approach that very uncomfortable feeling between round 1 and round 2. So that way, when you make it to that bonus sequence of the walk recovery, you could actually hit a true all out effort for 1 minute walk recovery and then increase it again for the final 45. Okay. So that's gonna be very simple to set up. As far as like efforts, use the recommendations. Power walker is 6% for the push all out somewhere between 6 to 10. Joggers and runners, I would have their push probably be around 1 over their base. Push to all out will probably about 1.5 to 2 over their base. And then when they take that walk recovery, they go back to base. And then with the next push all out, could they go 0.1 more, knowing that they don't have that first 90 seconds of a push prior. And then of course, for the all out, definitely 2 or more over base. Power walkers 10 plus on the incline. Bike striders 6 plus on the gear, all the standard stuff. So we should see lots of heart rate trends going up and down throughout that block. Block 2 is gonna be set up exactly the same, but everything is gonna be cut down to 1-minute intervals until the bonus part. So push, base, all out, 1 minute each, then 1-minute walk recovery, base all out, 1-minute walk recovery, then 45 all out, 1-minute walk recovery, 30-second all out. And then hopefully by that 30-second all out, they have hit their true maximum effort of the day on the treadmills at least. And simple, done. Now, excuse me, look at the other side of the room. Both blocks start and end with the row, and then the lettuce, tomato, onion, lettuce, or mustard, mayo, sandwich meat, whatever you want to call it. This middle section is going to be the work and rest on the weight floor. All right. Way this is going to be set up, we'll start with a 90-second row for distance. Then they have 3 movements of work and rest on repeat until a 45-second row for distance. Knowing that the 90-second row for distance and the 45 essentially should be timed up with the treadmills for this 12-minute and 15-second block, if you account for the transition time from the rowers to the floor back to the rowers, they'll probably have about 9 minutes for the actual floor stuff in block 1. In block 2, it's probably going to be closer to like 6-ish minutes or so. So which it works well because more time in block one, because a lot of stuff is unilateral. So they're gonna do one side, then do the other. Whereas in block two, the first movement is the only unilateral thing. The next two movements are bilateral. So anyways, getting off topic here, let's talk about for the rower, 90-second row for distance. The call out is stroke rate at 26 strokes per minute. So another way to kind of look at that is this is a 39 stroke row if they truly hold 26 strokes per minute. So make every stroke count. Simple, okay? Knowing that higher stroke rate, leg drive might be a little less intense because they could definitely use momentum to keep the water moving. When they eventually come back to the rower, 45-second row, 24 strokes per minute. Now, it is a lower stroke rate, obviously, which also means they have to compensate the lack of momentum by more leg drive. Because now, with 45 seconds, they are only gonna have a total of 18 strokes to get what they did in about 19-20 strokes. So just kind of put it in terms of numbers, that's kind of what we're looking at. So definitely higher leg drive with that lower stroke rate should allow them to get at least half their distance in that 45-second row, okay? So they finish up the 90-second row, check their distance, we're gonna cut it in half when they come back to it, then we're gonna see the combination movement that they actually performed about a week ago, the single arm snatch to overhead reverse lunge, 4 to 8 per side. This is a movement that is very challenging for a lot of members because they feel like they're not able to do this overhead lunge with the same weight that they snatch with, which actually they should be able to. If you're able to get it overhead, you should be able to stabilize it and be able to move with that lunge position. So the lunge is going to be the limiting factor for that. So one option that I've had people do for this specific movement is like, if they can get the weight overhead, great. But if they don't feel comfortable doing the overhead lunge, after you do that single arm snatch, they could load up the shoulder, then do like a front rack reverse lunge. And then of course, bring it back overhead for the single arm snatch component. If they are truly not able to go overhead completely at all, then they could do a clean and then do that front rack reverse lunge. Then they're going to see reverse grip low row, one arm at a time, but it's an explosive tempo. So as they drive the elbow back, it's going to be quick, 2-3 counts on the way down, really get that deep stretch through the rhomboids before they pinch and then drive back up. And then explosive tempo push up to the high side plank. So they're looking for like 1-2 counts down, explode up, and then rotate open. The next rep, they're going to rotate the other side. Overall, very challenging movements on the weight floor. But the good thing is, on the tread side, you're probably dealing with the 90-second intervals and the 1-minute walk recoveries at this point. So definitely you can have adequate time to help members have better positioning, more appropriate options off mic for them, so on. So use that time to the members' advantage so they can be successful with these 3 very challenging movements. During the final 1-minute walk recovery, you'll want to have the weight floor head back to the rowers probably around 30 seconds in. It shouldn't take that long for them to get back up. That way it allows them to maximize the time of the stuff that they're doing on the weight floor. And then they hit that 45 row for distance at 24 strokes per minute. Now, block 2, essentially the same thing, but now the row is going to be 1 minute and 30 seconds between the buy-in and the buy-out, same stroke rates. 1 minute, 26 strokes per minute, so 26 stroke row for distance, followed by a 30-second row at 24. So it's really 12 strokes. So could they get the same distance in 12 strokes that they were able to do in about 13 at the beginning of the block? Okay. Of course, that is going to be tough to do because we're going to see a lot of hinge movements in block 2, single arm high pull with power, essentially like a regression of that kettlebell swing into like a kettlebell snatch. So hinge back, drive the elbow back, 4 to 8 per side. They could do like a tempo deadlift to upright row if they're not comfortable doing that swing. That's my go-to, since that at least kind of translates a little bit better into like a regression of the snatch, followed by the skier swing. Now, skier swing is obviously a very hotly debated topic. if you didn't see the video, it would be a hinge, right? If you don't look at the VVA swing, you think hinge. And you got 2 dumbbells on the outside, hinging back and forth, very similar to like a 2 dumbbell kettlebell swing outside the legs. But you see the video, and it's a little bit of a squat. So, and of course that's the thing, is a lot of times members will see the video and that's what they're gonna do. So we usually say, hey, coach did the VVA. This is one where it's simpler and less convoluted if you truly do that. So it's a little bit of a hinge and a squat. For that reason, I actually use the speed squat as the option for the skier swing, because mechanics will look very similar, just without weight. So for this speed squat, that's when they squat down, their hands drop as they stand up, hands rise up. And essentially that's what the skier swing kind of looks like on the video, just with dumbbells. Okay. And then the sit up with knee tuck. So for this one, lower back's gonna come off as they pull the knees in, and then they lay back down. Very explosive drive up. Sprinter sit up would probably be a good one, because then they could use one leg as a plant leg to help pull themselves up into it. Time frame wise, you have the 1 minute row, probably took about 30 seconds to 45 seconds for them to catch their breath, get back to the weight floor. So they're gonna have about 6-ish minutes to do probably about 2 rounds of this circuit before they go back to the rower and do that 30-second all out row. And that's it. Now when we look at the 3G, treads and rowers, you're gonna have 2 blocks, weight floor also 2 blocks. Very similar mechanics of everything compared to the 2G. So on the tread side, block 1, 7 minutes, 45 seconds, or 7 minutes, 15 seconds, 90-second walk recovery. Block 2, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Set up the same way. So we're gonna see push, base, all out, walk recovery, base, all out, walk recovery, all out, walk recovery, all out. Now in block 1, everything is 45 seconds until a 30-second all out. And then in block 2, exact same pattern, everything is 30 seconds. The walk recovery is still 45. And that's it, everything is 30 seconds. So increase the intensity as the block progresses. Block 2 is a new block, so they could start with a new all out to try to build off of, or they could try to progress off of the all out they finished block 1 at. Okay. For the rowers, we're gonna see a 20-stroke buy-in push row, check their distance, and then they're gonna have a circuit of med ball, bicep curl, shoulder press, tricep extension, and then they wanna complete their buy-in row distance in fewer than 20 strokes. Not the same, but in fewer, okay? So one way to kind of set this up is to use like the stroke rates from the 2G as a setup. So do their first 20 strokes, a little bit higher stroke rate, 24 to 26. When they are doing the circuit, have them do it 1 to 2 strokes lower, so it allows the water to do some of the work for them. That way they don't have to drive back as quickly, and they should be able to complete it in fewer strokes for that reason. Block 2, set up the same way, but now it's 12 strokes to begin with, and then you have that alternating knee raise to torso rotation. So the med ball is at your chest, they pick up one leg, whichever knee comes up, they rotate that direction, plant the feet, come back up, and then turn the other side. And then same thing, clear out the screen, and then complete the buy-in in fewer than 12 strokes. So 26-ish for the buy-in, 22 to 24 for the repeat, and that should get them to complete their distance probably in about 10 or 11 strokes every time. Finisher is gonna be a 30-second all out. Weight floor, not gonna go into this one at all because it is the exact same circuits that you saw in the 2G. So do each movement, rest after each one, be explosive, give those options. Same movements that you see in block 1 for block 1 here, same movements in block 2 that you'll see here, except for, of course, now there's a true finisher. They have either a regular explosive tempo push-up, or they could do the sit-up to knee tuck. So of course, if they do the push-up, there is no rotation to that high side plank. It's just 30 seconds of explosive tempo push-ups. There you go. Sunday, February 16th. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's weekend. And of course, if this is for the 28th, hope you have a great closeout and get ready for March. Coach you down.